Hi everyone, welcome back to Ovidiu Tech. Today I am going to unbox and review the 2TB WD Black SN850X, the latest high-performance NVMe SSD from Western Digital. It was released in 2022 as an updated version of the successful WD Black SN850, which came out a year and a half earlier. WD Black SN850X is a high-end PCI Express 4.0 NVMe SSD having DRAM and SLC caching that is advertised as a gaming SSD with read speeds of up to 7300 MB per second and write speeds of up to 6600 MB per second. It is produced in capacities of 1 TB, 2 TB and 4 TB and has options for a heatsink with RGB for the 1 TB and 2 TB models, but not for the 4 TB model. The SN850X's rated endurance remains the same at 600 TB of writes per terabyte of capacity over 5 years, which is pretty typical and more than enough for normal use. Inside the box we can find a standard plastic holder with cover that Western Digital uses, which contains the SSD and the user instructions booklet. The SN850X 2 TB features a black PCB with a sleek design, and like other high-end drives, this one is also single-sided. With its compact and light look, it can be easily installed in PCs or laptops with limited space. The front label is a simple one with no rolling heat dissipation. Keep in mind that any NVMe PCI Express 4.0 drive gets hot and it is preferable to be under some kind of radiator. The testing of WD Black SN850X drive will be performed after mounting it first on the motherboard's PCI Express 4.0 slot and afterwards on the PCI Express 3.0 slot, both of them being provided with heatsinks. In Windows, in order for a new drive to be used, we must first initialize it. For that, we just need to open disk management. Once opened, I am prompted to initialize the newly added disk. I click OK and the initialization is done. The next step is to create a volume. For that, right-click on the unallocated space and create a new volume of maximum capacity, assign a drive letter and a volume label, then click Next and finish. The newly created volume can now be used. The dashboard application has been updated with a new look since I made the SN770 2TB review. It starts in the overview page where we can see information about the system drive. For viewing the new SSD, we go to My Devices and select the second drive, which is now shown in the overview page. Here we can see information about its health, interface speed and temperature. If we go to Tools, we can update drive's firmware, erase the drive, run Smart Diagnostic or optimize the disk or the system. In order to migrate the OS drive, you can install Acronix True Image software. All the tests are done, so let's see how it compares with the other PCI Express 4.0 NVMe drives with DRAM that I tested so far. In Crystal Disk Mark, in the peak performance test with 1 GB file, SN850X gets the first place with sequential speeds as advertised and the best random speeds ever. In the peak performance test with 8 GB file, it keeps the first place, the advertised sequential speeds and the superior random speed, although falls short on random write speed. In the real-world performance test with 1 GB file, the SN850X drive places again the first, showing the best sequential speeds ever, while the random speeds are average. And it keeps the first place also in a real-world performance test with 8 GB file, maintaining the consistency of sequential speeds and the average random speeds. As SSD benchmark determines the sequential and random read and write performance of the SSD without using the operating system cache. In the test with 1 GB file, SN850X places the second, with only 3 points below Fury Renegade while having the best sequential speeds from all. In the 10 GB file test, the SN850X outshines all the other drives with a new best score of 8,927 points. In the Passmark DiskMark testing, the SN850X 2 TB dominated all the other drives, taking the first place with 6,940 points more than Spatium M480 1 TB. On PCI Express 4.0, WD Black SN850X 2TB proved to be pretty hot, both on idle at 42 Celsius degrees and during crystal smart testing when it reached 62 Celsius degrees with motherboard heatsink. On PCI Express 3.0, all these high-end drives are trying to break the limits of the interface. Let's see how SN850X has done in these tests. In Crystal Mark, in a peak performance test with 1GB file, SN850X had the best overall results, therefore deserving the first place. In a peak performance test with 8GB file, SN850X places the fourth, below FireCuda 530, due to its lower random write speed. In the real-world performance test with 1GB file, the SN850X places again the first, showing the best sequential speeds and average random speeds. And it keeps the first place also in the real-world performance test with 8GB file, maintaining the consistency of sequential speeds and the average random speeds. The SSD benchmark with 1GB file places SN850X drive on the 4th position, 72 points below Fury Renegade. However, in a test with 10GB file, the SN850X outshines the other drives except the SN850, therefore earning the second place with a score of 7,758 points. In the PassMart Smart testing, the SN850X 2TB drive dominates again all the other drives, taking the first place with 1,771 points more than Fury Renegade 1TB. On PCI Express 3.0, WD Black SN850X 2TB proved to be the hottest, both on idle at 40 Celsius degrees and during crystal smart testing when it reached 64 Celsius degrees with motherboard heatsink. The 3D Mark storage benchmark evaluates performance by running gaming-related tasks and repeats them 3 times, this way managing to stress the drives enough to get a clear differentiation in terms of gaming performance. Therefore, the testing on PCI Express 4.0 places WD Black SN850X 2TB on top of the chart with the best bandwidth and access time and a score of 3,934 points. The Forspoken benchmark tests the load times of different game scenes, providing the individual results. I repeat the testing 3 times and pick the run with the best average. On PCI Express 4.0, the best average load time positions the SN850X drive on the second place between MSI and Seagate drives. On PCI Express 3.0, the 3D Mark storage benchmark places WD Black SN850X on the second place, below but close to Fury Renegade, with a score of 3,316 points. The best average load time in Forspoken benchmark on PCI Express 3.0 positions the SN850X drive on the third place between Seagate and ADATA drives. In the left chart, you can see the best current prices of the compared drives in Romania, the usable capacity in megabytes, and the endurance for each of them. In the right chart is the resulted price for 100 megabytes of usable capacity. For WD Black SN850X 2TB, 100 megabytes of usable capacity costs now €8.70, which is above average. Based on the 5 years warranty of the drives and their rated endurance, we can determine that WD Black SN850X 2TB supports daily writes up to 673 GB of content due to its double capacity. Now let's relate the price to the performance. For this, I will consider the SN850X 1TB as having the same performance as the 2TB model, although it may perform a bit worse. WD Black SN850X 1TB costs today 404 RON, equivalent of about €81. Considering its price and performance in 3D Mark storage benchmark on PCI Express 4.0 as 100%, we can see that the Fury Renegade 1TB costs 12% less for 4% less performance. If we consider Fury Renegade's price and performance in the 3D Mark storage benchmark as 100%, then we see that SN850X costs 14% more for just 4% more performance. As we could see, the performance is near the top of the heap in almost every test. But before saying anything else, let's take a look at the testing results of Autodisk benchmark. In the sequential read chart, we can see the SN850X surpassing the SN850 while performing very close to Fury Renegade or below. It can't quite catch the Phison E80 controller of Fury Renegade, but it beats the rest. Anyway, the SN850X surprises us with the sequential write speeds, surpassing by far the old SN850, but also the drives with Phison E18 controller like Fury Renegade, FireCuda 530 or Spatium M480. This is a proof that Western Digital has focused on the SN850X's performance in write workloads, delivering the best drive in the test pool. For that, it was equipped with an updated 8-channel SanDisk controller, 2GB of Micron DDR4 4200 memory for caching, and 2 chips of the latest SanDisk BiCS5 112-layer 3D TLC NAND, the sort of flash that can be also found on the SN770 model. BiCS5 is ostensibly behind the competition, particularly the 176-layer flash from SK Hynix and Micron. However, Western Digital has made the most of its flash and can manage trade-offs by using a mature architecture. Bottom line, the WD Black SN850X is a high-performance SSD, perfect for gamers and anyone else who needs the fastest storage possible. It can be used both on modern PCs and PlayStation 5 with a heatsink. Using it inside the laptop would be a waste, as it may suffer due to excessive heat. A better choice would be the WD Black SN770 instead. This is pretty much all I could say about this drive. I hope this video has been informative for you. As always, a big thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and also to subscribe in order to be notified when I release the next review. Stay safe until next time and spend responsibly. God help.